The remarkable progress of Starship is turning our wildest dreams into reality. Many of you, like me, have fantasized about seeing Starship soar and touch down in the aerospace hub of Florida. I'm thrilled to tell you that this fantasy is on the verge of becoming a reality. SpaceX and the FAA have laid out comprehensive plans for this, incorporating aspects we hadn't even considered before. What other astonishing milestones is Starship guiding us toward? Let's uncover them in today's episode of Tech News Whisperer. Interestingly, Starship has already made its mark in Florida, setting up a launch system at LC-39A, the same site where SpaceX currently launches the Falcon 9. However, in 2024, things started to crystallize as various agencies began assessing the environmental impact of operating the Starship Super Heavy in Florida. After evaluating and comparing other possible sites like SLC-50, the FAA and SpaceX decided that LC-39A was the best option. By May, the process for preparing the Environmental Impact Statement, EIS, had begun. Following a 45-day period of public scoping, the FAA has now released the draft EIS. With just this draft, we can begin to envision the future of Starship. This draft clearly outlines the roadmap for finalizing the EIS, the new design of Starship, the responsibilities of the involved organizations, and the issues SpaceX needs to address. Starship's design has been a topic of discussion before, but this statement introduces other significant plans for its operation. Specifically, the FAA's proposed actions include SpaceX's plans to construct launch, landing, and associated infrastructure at and near LC-39A. The proposal also details plans for Starship Super Heavy launches at LC-39A, recoverable Super Heavy booster and Starship landings at LC-39A or on a drone ship, and expendable Super Heavy booster and Starship landings in the ocean. This is an exciting development for all of us, especially the idea of Starship and its Super Heavy booster landing on a drone ship. When we think of drone ships, the Falcon 9 naturally comes to mind. Over the years, SpaceX has conducted around 260 landings using this method, setting records for rocket reusability and consistently landing rockets. Now, this method will be applied to Starship, the world's largest rocket, which will also land on a drone ship in the ocean. In the future, similar to Falcon rockets, Starship will launch, and its booster will separate and land on a drone ship. With the Falcon 9, this process takes about 8.5 minutes, but with Starship, it might take around 10 minutes or more. After separation, the Super Heavy booster will use its engines and grid fins to navigate and slow down, ultimately achieving a vertical landing on the drone ship. These similarities between Starship and Falcon 9 in using this method are clear. However, Starship's full reusability means it will achieve new milestones. After long journeys, possibly to orbit, the Moon, or Mars, Starship will re-enter the atmosphere and land on a drone ship, marking a significant achievement in the aerospace industry. Landing Starship on a drone ship offers numerous advantages. Firstly, it provides flexibility, as the drone ship can move to various locations to retrieve the Super Heavy booster and Starship, simplifying the control process. Secondly, ocean landings reduce risks to people and property compared to land-based methods. However, this method requires some modifications. One such change involves landing legs. Current Starships lack landing legs, which are essential for this landing method. Previously, Starship had legs, but they were removed to reduce weight and align with the launch tower and OLM system. I'm a fan of landing legs and believe they're necessary for both drone ship landings and future Moon or Mars landings. Will landing legs make a comeback, or will the drone ship undergo modifications to accommodate this need? We've previously discussed Starship's design, but this new statement introduces significant operational plans. In the proposed action section, the FAA clearly indicates that SpaceX plans to build launch, landing, and related infrastructure around LC-39A. This proposal also includes Starship Super Heavy launches at LC-39A, recoverable Super Heavy booster and Starship landings either at LC-39A or on a drone ship, and expendable landings of Super Heavy boosters and Starships in the ocean. Perhaps, like me, you were most intrigued by the idea of Starship and its Super Heavy booster landing on a drone ship. Speaking of drone ships, they remind us of the Falcon 9. Over the years, SpaceX has conducted around 260 landings using this method, creating a reliable system for rocket recovery and reuse. Now, this method is set to be applied to Starship, the world's largest rocket, which will land on a drone ship in the ocean. In the future, Starship will launch, and its booster will separate, similar to the Falcon rockets. While the Falcon 9 booster typically lands on the drone ship in about 8.5 minutes, Starship's booster might take around 10 minutes or more. After separation, The Super Heavy booster will use its engines and grid fins to navigate and decelerate before vertically landing on the drone ship. While the similarities between Starship and Falcon 9 using this method are evident, Starship's design for full reusability sets it apart. After a long journey, whether to orbit, the Moon, or Mars, Starship will re-enter the atmosphere and land on a drone ship, marking a significant milestone in the aerospace industry. Landing Starship on a drone ship offers numerous advantages. Firstly, it provides flexibility since the drone ship can move to various locations to retrieve the Super Heavy booster and Starship, simplifying the control process. Secondly, ocean landings reduce risks to people and property compared to land-based methods. However, some modifications are needed for this method. One such change involves landing legs. Current Starships lack landing legs, which are essential for this landing method. Previously, Starship had legs, but they were removed to reduce weight and align with the launch tower and OLM system. I'm a fan of landing legs and believe they're necessary for both drone ship landings and future Moon or Mars landings. Will landing legs make a comeback, or will the drone ship undergo modifications to accommodate this need? Let me know what you think in the comments section down below. Although many details are still uncertain, I believe the drone ship must significantly enhance its basic capabilities, including durability and size. Unlike the Falcon booster, which has a maximum thrust of 770 tons or 1.7 million pounds, the EIS indicates that the future Super Heavy will have a thrust exceeding 10,000 tons or 23 million pounds, while the ship will weigh over 2,800 tons or nearly 6.3 million pounds. Of course, this is the maximum thrust during liftoff. When landing, the Falcon booster, Super Heavy, and Starship will use fewer engines, resulting in much lower thrust. This comparison highlights the difference between Starship stages and the Falcon booster. Therefore, the drone ship needs to be larger and more durable than current ones to withstand the massive thrust and dry mass of rockets up to 150 meters high. Don't forget, SpaceX will be conducting numerous launches each year, so the drone ships must be capable of handling this frequency. Despite the challenges, the prospect of landing Starship on a drone ship is incredibly exciting. It's a potential game changer for space travel logistics. We'll just have to wait and see if this method is ultimately chosen, but the possibilities are thrilling. So stay tuned. But hey, landing on a drone is not the only thrilling option. SpaceX and the FAA have revealed additional methods. The FAA has specified that both the Super Heavy booster and the Starship can touch down at LC-39A, the same path from which they were launched. This involves the incredible Mechazilla arm catching them midair. SpaceX is chasing this ambitious goal and will take the first step with the upcoming Flight 5. I believe the launch and landing process with the Mechazilla arm in Florida will mirror what they're doing in Texas, or should I say, what they're attempting to do. After a few minutes of flight, the booster will separate from the ship, navigate back to the launch complex, and land on the tower. The ship's journey will be longer, as detailed in the drone ship section. After completing its mission, the ship will re-enter the atmosphere and land using the tower just like its booster companion. Regarding the infrastructure supporting this initiative, the FAA highlighted key elements in their background statement. On the map, we can identify NASA-approved zones such as the Air Separation Unit Area, Deluge Pond, and facilities dedicated to propellant generation and storage. However, the standout feature is undoubtedly the catch tower. This revelation indicates that SpaceX will have at least 2 towers at LC-39A, each serving distinct purposes, one for launching and the other for catching. Incredible, isn't it? With this approach, SpaceX can continue to employ the current landing design without landing legs. This method offers the advantage of expediting repairs and refurbishments, thus reducing turnaround time. Not only is this visually impressive, but it also sets SpaceX apart as no other organization has achieved this feat. But in return, SpaceX will need to master this method thoroughly. Landing with a Mechazilla arm demands utmost precision and entails significant risks to surrounding infrastructure. LC-39A hosts the Falcon 9 launch pad, a critical asset for NASA, underscoring the importance of flawless execution. Nevertheless, landing with the Mechazilla arm promises to captivate the world's attention. The journey will likely begin with Flight 5, anticipated to occur late next month. After discussing the 2 methods mentioned earlier, the FAA also presented another option termed expendable, meaning that the Super Heavy and ship would not be reused and would instead be landed in the Atlantic Ocean. The FAA statement included mapped regions with specific distances and latitudes for these landings. However, this method is certainly not ideal. Rather, it serves as a contingency plan for exceptional circumstances. For now, I'd like to ask you, which method do you prefer for Starship, Droneship, or Mechazilla arm? Feel free to share your choice in the comment section down below. I'll be eagerly awaiting your response. Regardless of the chosen method, however, SpaceX faces several tasks ahead. Bringing the giant rocket to Florida involves collaborating closely with the FAA and numerous other organizations to finalize the EIS. Following the draft, they'll gather public comments, make necessary modifications, finalize the official EIS, and move towards making critical decisions. They also need to master the landing soon. The next challenge will be Flight 5, which will pave the way for catching the Super Heavy with the Mechazilla arm. Only after achieving this milestone will SpaceX consider applying it in Florida or transitioning to Droneship landings. It's a rough road ahead, but nothing is impossible. So let's share our eagerness and await the outcome. The advancements in SpaceX's Starship program are nothing short of awe-inspiring, with potential milestones that could redefine our approach to space exploration. The detailed plans laid out by the FAA and SpaceX for launch and landing operations at LC-39A are paving the way for groundbreaking achievements. The environmental considerations and infrastructure developments, such as the construction of dedicated launch and landing facilities, underscore the meticulous planning behind this endeavor. The concept of landing Starship on a drone ship introduces an innovative approach to rocket recovery, offering flexibility and reducing risks associated with land-based landings. This method, building on the success of Falcon 9, highlights SpaceX's commitment to reusability and efficiency in space travel. The potential reintroduction of landing legs or modifications to the drone ship to accommodate Starship's unique requirements reflects the adaptive nature of SpaceX's engineering. Equally compelling is the Mechazilla arm catch method, which promises a visually spectacular and technically challenging solution for landing both the booster and the ship. This method, if mastered, could revolutionize rapid turnaround times and enhance the reusability of Starship. The risks involved, particularly at a site as critical as LC-39A, emphasize the high stakes of this approach. The third option, the expendable method, serves as a reminder of the complexities and contingencies involved in space exploration. While not ideal, it provides a fallback plan, ensuring mission success under exceptional circumstances. As we look to the future, the path for SpaceX is lined with rigorous testing, collaboration with regulatory bodies, and continual innovation. The upcoming Flight 5 will be a pivotal moment, potentially demonstrating the feasibility of the Mechazilla arm catch and setting the stage for future operations in Florida. The excitement surrounding these developments is palpable, and the aerospace community is eagerly anticipating the next steps. In conclusion, the Starship program's progress is a testament to human ingenuity and determination. Whether through drone ship landings, Mechazilla catches, or other innovative methods, SpaceX is on the cusp of achieving remarkable milestones that will shape the future of space travel. As we await the results of these ambitious endeavors, the enthusiasm and anticipation within the aerospace community continue to build, promising an exciting journey ahead. Thank you for joining me today on Tech News Whisperer. Until next time, keep looking up and dreaming big. Well folks, that's about it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, and as always, this has been Kevin from Tech News. Until next time, keep looking up.